warm-up just coming to an end now. You see, so the AM strength of field just shown at the top of the screen there. I think, not sure if it's appearing on the stream. So AM strength of field is 1.5K. Rookies is 1.1K. So we've got a nice, relatively tight split between the two different categories. Nick, do you want to take us through the grid?
Yep. So on the front row, we've got Ken Bracey and Barry Baldwin, followed by Rob Armstrong and Dan Smith. Then we've got Clive Davis and Anthony Franklin, Murray Luca and Steve Hughes, Lee Green and Tom Carroll, Stonehouse, Norman, Blenkinsop, Bennington, Davis, Truby, Lowerson, Hitchin, Sandford, Protty, Alden, Wheeler, Rawlins, Joe, Cy Anthony, Josh Wilson, Mark Cadmore, Colin Wynn, and then Neil Smith and Ben Brodie round out the grid for us.
Brilliant. So we're just waiting for the drivers to grid now. Not long to go now until lights out. They just head out in front of the safety car for a little bit. And then racing will commence. And Nick, I know from the prologue event that we held for a couple of weeks ago at Alton, I think we're in for an absolutely brilliant race as the drivers just head off now and we get ready to experience 45 minutes of what I know will be absolute wheel-to-wheel action, full of drama, full of anticipation, what the season holds ahead. Drivers looking to make a good start, Nick, as they just come round into 90, the first corner.
Yeah, as
what do you expect, Nick?
A real presence of Ferraris here on the grid. Just looking down the timing screen, it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's at least 10. There's 10 plus Ferraris on the grid, which makes up a fair old chunk. And I think from our initial stats that we had, actually the total number of Ferraris is about half of the total participation for this. So be interesting to see how many of those end up in the top spots, or are there going to be other cars here that are considerably more competitive? I guess a lot of these guys are going to come out of the Ferrari challenge.
Definitely. So I've just totted it up while you were talking there, Nick. It's 18 cars of the 30-car grid are Ferraris. Like you say, the fixed Ferrari is the entry almost into the GT3 arena within iRacing, running a fixed setup. So that's hence why a lot of the drivers have picked up Ferraris. We have got, let's looking down the list, we've got 4 BMWs, around about 3 Lamborghinis, a couple of Mercedes,
just one Audi,
an Audi
yeah,
and a McLaren.
Just one Audi of Rob Sanford out there. So Tim, I think we're getting down now into the boot section of Watkins Glen. This is the additional section that was added in the 70s now. This incredibly tight down here, not really an overtaking spot necessarily. Some of these corners quite banked and a lot more severe. You do have to slow down into these to really try and then get on the power out of them. I'm hoping that we're going to see a lot of guys down here really going side by side and really trying to put the pressure on each other.
Definitely. I mean, look, just from what the practice session was like last night, Nick, there was a lot of almost test races where they'd head off, have a good blast, go wheel to wheel with one another, improving their racecraft, and then once someone fell off, they'd back up the pack again, so everyone was nice and compact, and they'd head off again. And it evoked some absolutely brilliant racing. There were lots of laughs and giggles going on, but ultimately, a few of the guys said they learned a lot more during that swan bit than just hot lapping by themselves, trying to grind out a much quicker time. So they've come with lots of experiences. They're coming towards the end of the lap now. It won't be long till the safety car peels up, just rejoining the short version of the circuit. Not long now, Nick. All the anticipation, all the nerves and all the build-up are about to disappear as the green lights go and we head off very shortly.
This is going to be a fantastic race. I'm really waiting for this now. And to think that we've got this all over again next week as well.
Definitely. It's going to be so interesting. Whole season ahead of these drivers. The safety cars peeled up, putting in 1, 2. GT3 season 1 is go. Great start there by Stonehouse and also Chris Hitchin. Lamborghini 1 and Colin Wynn in the Ferrari looking to make a move up the inside of Chris Hitchin there in the BMW. Not successful this time round. Just looking as they come round 90, the first corner. Looks like everyone's made it through and clear as they head round the S's now. All about gathering momentum. All about tucking up behind the car in front of you. And really, really extracting them every little bit you can out of the slipstream from the cars in front of you. As we currently look at this, Armstrong, Bracey's just made it past as well, by the looks of things, as they head into the boot, hard onto the brakes, and this is we've got a spinner there. That's by Anthony. He's one of the stronger drivers within the AM category. He'll be absolutely gutted about that. He was setting some of the quickest times during practice, and he lost it on cold tyres into the bus stop chicane there, Nick. So you can look at Rob Armstrong now. It seems to have got away and quite calm, Nick, for a first lap.
Yeah, Rob Armstrong looking comfortable there at the minute. All these guys are looking relatively clean. I think that Cy Anthony incident looking like the only one that we've really seen so far. I'm sure the cameraman will tell me if I'm wrong, and we'll probably get a replay of anything else. But it looks like we've got some guys there going side by side there into what looks like the end of the boot section, now coming into the last couple of corners before we get back to the pit straight, Tim. Now, we're still riding here with Rob Armstrong in he's looking pretty strong there. Nice flame livery that he's got there. Oh, and now we're going to go here to Chris Hitchens. So this is the front of the pack, Tim.
It is. So we've got coming. We've got Stonehouse and Wynn side by side there. Initially into the corner. Stonehouse in the pink Lamborghini, and we've got Wynn in the golden Ferrari. There has got David Lowson in the Ghostbusters livery, just looking a little bit up the inside there, not taking a move. Just trying to get the best exit out of 90 as the cars now head up the S's. It's almost like a mini Blanchiment stroke Eau Rouge like you have at Spa. And it's all about the long drag down to the straight. The Ferraris are incredibly quick in a straight line. It'd be good to see to get some moves done down into the bus stop as Lawson moves to the inside of the track. He's going hard. It looks like he's going to get the move.
He's done it. Oh, we've got one off.
One off.
Stonehouse.
He's straight on at the chicane there, Nick, and that's going to invoke a slowdown. So he's going to lose a few places, and there he goes across the grass as well. So he's going to drop like a stone.
I think we should at some point we should try and get a view of that from Lawson, because I think Lawson actually got 2 positions possibly in that manoeuvre, because I'm sure that he was in about 4th position there, and then he looks up in 2nd now. That's a fantastic move. He put the pressure on. As you say, then you've had Stonehouse that's managed to then drop down the field and try and recover from a time penalty he's had. So we'll stay with Stonehouse for the minute and see how he recovers from that. It might be that that's put him off a little bit. You know, sometimes, Tim, when you have an off like that, it can often make you feel a bit uncomfortable. Now we're with David Lowson there, or sorry, Colin Wynn we're actually with, but he's in a fight currently with Lowson, who's actually now dropped down to 3rd place. It looks like Wynn has managed to slip it through there.
It looks that way, doesn't it, Nick?
Now Lowson almost holding up the rest of the pack there with Dave Norman and Josh Wilson behind him. It's, maybe he's just managed to eke it out a little bit, but Wilson now pulling a gap of about 7/10 by the looks of it. Yeah, we've got Norman really close in behind Lowson there, really starting to put the pressure on.
I know. Wilson's one of the stronger drivers. He's looking for a strong result here to open this account for the season with as he goes wide. Out of turn 1, you can run very wide there without incurring an off track as the drivers head up the S's again. We've got a very racy pack of 3 Ferraris there, Nick, of Lowson in the Ghostbusters livery, Norman, and then Josh Wilson behind in the purple car. It looks like Wilson's got a good run there, but it's not going to be quite enough by the looks of things, as Norman goes defensive there into the bus stop chicane, Nick, and they've all made it through by the looks of things cleanly. Oh, I think that was that. I'm trying to have a look. Was that Wynn? I think in the front Ferrari, just have a little bit of a wiggle there. No, I think it's Norman.
Let's not forget that we've also got Lee Green behind these guys. Lee Green have been pretty strong previously. Again, another Ferrari driver there. We're going to go to Lee Green now. Now, Lee had been one of our quicker drivers that we'd seen previously in some of the other sessions. And it looks like at the minute he's just biding his time. Just 3/10 separate him and Gary Bennington at the minute. Now, again, the Gary Bennington and Wilson only normally say to me, Tim, these guys at line of stern, you know, they're really just staying in a line. They're keeping an eye on each other, trying to keep each other in check. Now, you'll notice a few of these marks on the track, these kind of almost like concrete sections, almost like done some road works. Now I see a lot of these guys staying almost quite online with those little sections, as if they're almost acting as markers for some of these guys. I'm not sure if that's something that you'd experienced when you were out on the track with these guys last night.
Definitely, it's weird. They almost follow like the racing line around, so it's great as brake markers, turning markers, and to ensure that you're keeping the right line throughout the corner, Nick.
Do we have Mr. Myers at iRacing to thank for that, do we? Or?
I'd imagine so. I'd imagine so. So
we're looking at Kim Bracey.
He looks like he's going to push the move, trying to get the move done around the outside there, and it looks like he's got it done there, Nick. Brilliant move by Ken Bracey in the blue Lamborghini.
Fantastic, and they should be pretty much full throttle flat to the floor as they go through the S's here. There's not really a need to lift off unless you've gotten out of shape or you're offline for some reason.
Going to go defensive. Tom Carroll just jinxing out, looking to go around the outside potentially. And cut away there. Slight glitch with the cameras there, but it's Carroll's managed to get right at to the back of Bracey there, but it's allowed Carrick Stonehouse, who dropped out earlier on where he missed the bus stop chicane in the pink Lamborghini there. The back of this pack is able to close right up as he runs a slightly wider line there, but he's looking to cut back in again, get the maximum amount of drive and really push as he moves to the inside, just to let Tom Carroll know, I'm here. You need to be looking in your mirrors, hoping that it'll make him look twice, as Carroll got a brilliant run off the corner there against Ken Bracey. But not quite managing to get the move there done there, Nick. He's just tucked back in again. He's applying the same tactics what Stonehouse was doing a couple of corners ago, just moving it out, making sure that Bracey can see him in his mirrors. Yeah. On here. Undoubtedly be flashing on the light scene just to really try and distract him and bully him off the track with the tactics that Tom Carroll's currently
Carrick Stonehouse was a bit more up the field than he is currently, so he's kind of a bit out of place at the minute, with his fastest lap being 1:48.4 in this race. David Lowerson, is that David Lowerson dropping down the pack that I can see? I've just seen him on my timing screen.
No, it's Lee. I think Lee Green's dropped a couple of places
might have dropped as well. But anyway, I mean, we're just still with Tom Carroll. Oh, Tom Carroll went a little bit wide there, Tim. It looks like that might have possibly just given a little bit of room for Carrick to have another little look. Only 4/10 separating these guys. So Carrick, as we were just saying a minute ago, is actually technically the faster driver of these two. So he'll be looking to get around. And yeah, there's Lowerson going into the pit lane. So is that an early stop?
No,
he's got damage. He's got damage.
I'm not sure where that's happened. It's happened somewhere off camera there, Nick. I'm sure our director will be able to pick that up shortly. But yeah, missing the bonnet, and damage to the front right of the car as well. Not too sure where he's picked that up, but it explains why you spotted him falling down the time screens. Lee Green as well. He's dropped a few places.
That's Tom Carroll off.
Oh no!
Put it into the wall. He's put it in. He's gone too deep there on the braking by the looks of it, and then he's just lost it and then headed off onto the right-hand side, then just dinked the wall. That is a shame. Tom was putting up a bit of a fight there against Stonehouse, just trying to hold him behind, but very unfortunate for Tom, having just kind of slid into the right-hand side of the track there. That's a real shame. Almost as much of a shame as Lowerson being down there, as he was quite high up the field in third, fourth place, I think, at the time before we saw him drop down into the pits.
So we've got a battle in the rookie class. The rookies carry the red banner across the top of their windscreen, and also sport that they've got a red number as well, and also there's a red sticker on the bumper, which really shows up there on the green Ferrari of David Potty there. So they're currently around about half a second between those two, but we've got Trevor Davis here, who's just up behind David Lowerson. Currently battling for 21st position, these two. There's around about 7/10 behind them.
Yeah, just worth mentioning that these guys are AM and rookie. So David Lowerson being the AM driver here and Trev being the rookie. So Trev probably just has caught Dave as he's come out of the pits after that repair that he's had to have. Now, what I don't know is whether Dave would have taken any fuel at that point. I don't think we would have been further enough in the race. We're just going to go over to Ken Bracey. Yeah. We've got a bit of a fight going on here, Tim.
We have, yes. Lee Green charging hard. As we know, he's obviously fallen down through the rankings a bit from an earlier mistake. Now battling hard with Ken Bracey, trying to make up number places, as he's absolutely all over the gearbox of him, just jinking left and right, trying to find his way past that Lamborghini, but Ken's doing a brilliant job of making it as wide as possible. Always trying to fill the whole track up to stop Lee Green coming through. Lee's a very fast driver. He's got a lot of GT3 experience, but as we mentioned during the prologue event round Alton, Nick, it's all within a set of corsa competizione. So I'm sure be transferring a lot of those cars, racecraft skills across. The cars do drive slightly differently between the two different sims, which is understandably, but I'm sure he's going to be one to watch, and he'll be disappointed that he's currently sitting around 10th place, as we've got Rob Rawlings now, who's tucked up around about half a second behind Daniel Smith, and Tom Carroll, who after his earlier off track is now making up this train of 3 cars of Ferrari, BMW and Ferrari.
One thing that it looks like Hitchens just dropped down the field a little bit. Whether he's in the pits at the minute or not, I'm not sure. No, it looks like he's
out in front, Nick.
No, it was the timing screen again. We've just had one of those little blips that we occasionally have. Now, we're going to go back to Lee Green. The thing to remember is that they did have Carrick Stonehouse behind them. He looks like he's dropped down a little bit. Oh, look at that. Lee Green getting past.
You see, round the outside, brilliant there, into the bus stop chicane. Brilliant move by Lee Green, which takes him up to 9th place and releases him from behind Ken Bracey now to chase down the Lamborghini of Blenkinsop in 8th place. He's currently around about 3.5 seconds up the road from him, Nick.
Lee Green and we'll go back to Rawlins now. Rawlins now pushing quite hard up to the back of Tom Carroll. It looks like Dan Smith has managed to get past Tom Carroll. Tom has got damage from that accident we saw earlier. Now this is looking incredibly tidy from Rob. He's right up to the back there. It looks like he's got a good bit of pace. Looking to the inside, Tom a little bit wider than he probably wants to be. Oh, side by side.
He's understeered wide there, Nick, and now this is the drag race down to that heel corner. But it looks like, I think Carroll's just slightly ahead. I think Rawlins might back out of this one. Yes, he has done. But though Carroll's run wide again, and this is now a chance for Rob Rawlins, a chance to capitalise. He's got the outside line for this corner, Nick, as this is a bit tight. So Rob's a former racer himself, so he's using all of his carcraft and real-life skills now. Work his way past as they go side by side. He's got to move that round the outside there. Rob Rawlins, take a bow. Brilliant move.
Fantastic work from Rawlins there. He really held on, but these guys were racing incredibly gentleman-like there. That was a lot of room given by both guys side by side all the way around, and Rob eventually managed to get it done. It looks like Tom, that front right wing of the car is pretty knackered, to be honest, Tim. So I think that might be the reason that maybe Rob just had the edge there and he was able to hold on a bit harder. Now we're going to get to Blenkinsop, so that's P8 there in the Lamborghini, car number 59. Blenkinsop currently 2 seconds behind Murray Luca, and he's got about a 3.2 second lead from Lee Green at the moment. Now he's made 6 places at the moment, so he's looking like a strong runner for us. Somebody that we could potentially see going a bit further. He might get it, maybe some time gained under pit stops, or if there's any calamities at the front of the pack, then I'm sure that Tony's going to be the one that's going to be there to take advantage of those.
Yeah, he's currently being chased down, obviously, as mentioned, by Lee Green. He's around about 3.5 seconds behind him. That gap is closed ever so slightly. As we cut to Sean Joe now, the AM drivers.
That Ferrari's not looking very healthy, is it?
It looks like he's had a trip into either the back of someone or a barrier somewhere off camera there, but you get to see exactly what happened to them, and right on cue. It's already got the damage there, though, so that looks like it may well be an earlier on incident somewhere that's happened.
Okay, well maybe we'll cut back to live now, and we'll cover some more of that later on. So we're now just going to go back to Sean Joe here.
Right at the gearbox of Trevor Davis ahead in that blue BMW, Nick. Oh, Trevor's gone wide, and this is Sean Joe's chance now, and this is an easy pass into the end, gifted by Trevor there, who ran wide, unfortunately, into heel corner, Nick.
That's a shame.
And
that's a shame.
That is a real shame.
Yeah,
I felt a brilliant battle brewing there.
look at this again now. So Trev just gets a little bit too deep.
Oh.
He ends up on the grass, and you've not really got much hope at that point. He's just he's bowed to the pressure a little bit. So even with that damaged car, still managing to make his way through the pack a little bit, Sean Joe, which is impressive to see. Now we're going to go over to Gary Bennington in 5th place. Gary Bennington in a fight with Rob Armstrong currently, only 3/10 separating these guys, Tim.
Yeah, and we've got Murray Luca currently stalking them in the background in that white and black Ferrari, just waiting, undoubtedly, just utilising the fact that these two are currently holding each other, slightly having a little bit of a battle, looking, waiting to capitalise on any mistake made by these two. So Gary's, after a good start, and that red Ferrari there with the Mind liveries, a charity very close to this Discord community's heart. Just looking to close up the lap, nice and consistent lines. It's very key and important around this part of this track to be smooth and calm and not push the car too hard. I found the other day it's very easy to lose it coming out of that one corner there, and it's all about power and momentum through this next section of the track.
Personally, my Achilles was the 90. Just getting it stopped in time at the 90 was a real problem for me. Now, see what Gary is looking like here. Normally dropping down into about 3rd gear by here, and then trying to just tuck it in nicely to get a good clean exit. You can use plenty of that left-hand side off-track section. You don't get a 1x unless you actually cross the grass portion, and then these guys are going to be flat through here hopefully, and then you can see that Mercedes of Rob Armstrong looking pretty strong there. Now we're going to go to Norman being chased down by Josh Wilson.
Josh Wilson was fastest man on the track last time around, set the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:47.2, so he's really chasing now Dave Norman hard and trying to put a lot of pressure onto him. He was around about 6/10 quicker that last time around. As we've look at the battle between Bennington and Armstrong, is Armstrong looks to take it in deep and go around the outside, but could this now give Murray Luca the chance to be able to capitalise? He's close right up, he's only 3/10 behind, so he's gained about half a second to Armstrong, just from Armstrong running wide there, Nick. It's so nip and tuck and very close racing tonight.
Murray Luca, like the child on Halloween that won't stop knocking your door asking for sweets. He's pushing and pushing and pushing until he gets what he wants. Look at him there, right behind Armstrong. Only less than half a second there. He's closing that gap more than Armstrong is closing the gap to Bennington ahead of him. And it looks like this is going to give Bennington the chance to actually almost kind of get away while Armstrong and Luca are scrapping it out behind him. Now Luca actually not much quicker really than Armstrong. On the last lap there was quite a difference, a 1:47 versus a 1:48, but the fastest lap between these guys isn't separated by a lot, only a couple of tenths of a second, so quite competitive. Hopefully this fight should be.
So this is Luca's chance now, playing into the advantages of the Ferrari with its great straight line speed. Sure, he gets a good exit out of 90. Good run up through the S's. I think he's going to be too far back to be able to mount a challenge on Armstrong in that Mercedes. I think, yeah, definitely too far back for a go this time. However, looks like Armstrong is closed the gap up and right to Bennington, and he's now right on the gearbox of Bennington.
Just after we were saying how close Luca had been to Armstrong versus Armstrong to Bennington, that gap had reversed. Now we're going to ride on board with Gary Bennington here. Gary going to look to get a nice clean entry into all. Ooh, look at that, Armstrong just getting really close on the entry there, and then he's kept it nice and tidy there. He's going to go to the left-hand side, sorry, and just have a little look round. Can he get a better entry up the hill? He keeps it close in behind the tail of that Ferrari, Tim. This is
he's only 1/10. He's
side by side.
He's side by side. Armstrong slightly ahead. He's got the inside line. Heavy on the brakes now. Ooh.
Looks like
now this is Murray Luca's chance. This is his chance to try and capitalise, to really close up the gap, try and put a bit of pressure. Can he do anything? He's taken the inside line as Armstrong looks to run it round the outside. He's going to be on the outside for the next corner as well, but this could be Luca's chance now to be able to nip it up the inside. As Armstrong's shut the door there to Luca to stop him from coming through. So they head on to the start-finish straight now. It's all about the drag. Great exit there, nice and wide, utilising all of the track there from Gary Bennington and the red Ferrari. It's now come up to 90, heavy on the brakes. Lucas dropped off a little bit back, but he's looking to try and get a good run off as Bennington wants incredibly wide there, using tons of the track there, which is going to give Armstrong the chance now. Armstrong's all over the back of him, weaving around. Has he caught him maybe a little bit too soon? Doesn't like he has.
This is it.
All about the grunt. This is it. Bennington's going to go. He's got to go defensive to the inside, but he hasn't, and he's opened the door for Armstrong. Armstrong's going to be on the inside to the entry, but no, they've got to go side by side from the bus stop as Bennington bounces across the curbs.
Oh,
no, he's lost it.
He's off.
He's lost it. He's caught the curb and he's gone straight into the barriers there, Nick. But now Lucas all over the back of Armstrong.
If Armstrong is as headstrong as he was through that battle with Bennington, he should be able to hold off Luca. It looks like Luca is just giving him the breathing space. Maybe not had the exit he wanted there. As close as the Bennington and Armstrong battle was now, so 3 become 2. Who comes out on top now? Who will take the top spot here? This is the battle for 5th that we're looking at here. Gary Bennington, incredibly unfortunate for him. It looks like, we'll try and get a replay in a minute, but it looked to me like he just got out of that chicane, that inner loop chicane, and probably put the power down a little bit too early and then was sent way off to the left into the barrier. Now we're going to stay here with Luca. Luca looking incredibly racy still, rider behind that Mercedes of Rob Armstrong. Only 4/10 here between these guys as they head into the last couple of corners.
So
wow, Tim.
What brilliant racing put on from the guys here. I've got to say, brilliant camera angles that we're able to view on from trackcams22.com. Absolutely brilliant footage. Just now, Murray looked a bit too close to be able to do anything, but is he going to look to make a move up the inside to 90? Not quite this time around from Murray.
Oh, he's gone wide.
Right, Armstrong's gone wide offside, but this is the replay of Bennington. He just got the curb and
shame.
Then he's pointed the wrong way, so he's just having to sit there and watch all the traffic come past him, losing place after place. Oh, Gary Bennington's going to be absolutely frustrated there.
He put up a hell of a fight there, all through that, and we're going to go back to Murray Luca and Rob Armstrong. Now the fight continues, even after it looked like Rob Armstrong had got a bit wide there, possibly into, I think it was turn 1 that we'd actually seen it. Now the gap now looking like half a second. We're going to carry on watching this. We're going to switch to Cadmore and Steve Olden. Oh, just, I think that was Olden that had just managed to spin it there.
Yeah, Steve Olden and the Lucky Strike inspired. He's got past him there, and then
binned it.
Lost control, and coming into the corner then. Nick, a bit of a bizarre one that is
a problem with these the Mercs occasion. If you get down a gear too early, they will just turn around on you, and then before you know it, you're facing the wrong way on the track and everyone's coming towards you. So yeah, it is a problem that these things do suffer with. So Gary Bennington there, looking to he's a back marker that he's about to try and get down there.
No, because this is obviously where he had his
yes.
the barrier. He's also joined by Carrick Stonehouse as well, in that pink Lamborghini, who also had an earlier incident on as well. We've got Colin Wynn, he's coming to the pits, Nick. He's coming from 4th place, so 3rd place I think it was, which allow people to come up through the rankings. Now we're entering into the pit window, so we're going to start to see drivers looking to make their, watch the people go wide into 90 there. We're going to look to see people start to take their pit stops now, Nick. I think a lot of the drivers probably will be looking to run this long as they can and then get the undercut.
Yeah, so we've got about 20 minutes to go at the minute. We're just currently riding with Rob again at the moment. This battle between Rob and Murray still ensuing. Now, as you said, these guys are going to be looking to run the fuel as long as they can, really. Now, I believe our director had a note for me a minute ago that I just missed, but we were just talking about pit stops. I don't think we've seen a whole lot of guys come in yet, have we, Tim?
No, we've Clive Davis, funnily enough, he's in the pits currently, but of the guys who've maybe pitted early for damage, we haven't seen anyone pit too much yet so far. Just touching on the Armstrong battle, it is allowing Lee Green, Blenkinsop and Bracey, that little gaggle of cars, to catch up to that battle between Armstrong and Lucas. So that's going to be one to watch potentially in a few laps' time.
Yeah.
As we currently look at, we've got maybe not, maybe sooner, as Luca's looking to get the move done still. He's trying to perform the undercut there, but I don't think he's going to quite get it done there. It's not the best place, but as mentioned, we've got Lee Green now, who's managed to reduce the gap to around about 1.5 seconds in the Ferrari that's behind these two. But he's bringing along with him Tony Blenkinsop and Ken Bracey and their Lamborghinis for the fight. So we could end up with a brilliant 5-lap battle as the Armstrong-Luca battle ensues, and they keep tripping each other up and slowing each other up, where there's a bit of a late break potential move into the bus stop chicane. Luca's only 2 tenths behind now, so they head up through the S's. Can he get something done? The Ferrari incredibly strong in the straight line. I think he's going to be a little bit too far back this time around, Nick.
We haven't seen any moves here into the chicane really yet. We've seen some slightly dicey kind of maneuvers into the early stage of the races that didn't end well for people, and then we saw obviously Gary going off there as well. I don't think that we're going to see anything there. It's going to have to be really close, real close. But these guys behind now are just starting to obviously close that gap up. It's, as you just said, about 1.5 seconds to Lee Green behind now. Lee Green actually looking like he's lapping a bit quicker than Murray Luca at the minute, so it won't be long before they're on the tail now. We're going to go to Dan Smith. Dan is currently fighting with Barry Baldwin. Barry Baldwin's fastest lap of 1:48.5 and Dan a 1:47.6. Now, their current pace quite similar, somewhere in the mid to high 1:48. Now Dan looks like he's catching here at the moment. Just a question of when. These BMWs should be equally matched on performance, so this should come down to solely driver skill as they come around there looking not really like they're going to be having a particularly close fight anytime soon, Tim. Now, personally, I've not driven this BMW, but it has proven to be quite popular amongst our drivers. About 13% of the guys running using the BMW. We've got one BMW of Chris Hitchin in the top 5 at the moment, and then the only other 2 here are still within our top 10. So obviously a relatively competitive car.
Talking of top 5 and Chris Hitchin, he's currently into the pits, and so is Dave Norman. So Joshua Wilson now is our leader. He's currently running alone out in front now after those guys have pitted. So we're looking to put some strong laps together now. Josh, quite strong, I know from experience, he's strong through the bus stop chicane there, and also through the outer loop. He's heading around this long sweeping off-camber right-hander as he now heads down into chutes. Again, another downhill corner, slightly off-camber as well. It's all about being patient and waiting to get onto the power as another corner comes up as well. This is toe as they bring the car right back round as they head uphill, utilising, as you mentioned earlier, Nick, those strips of resurfaced road that you almost follow those round like a set of train tracks. This is key part of the race now for Wilson. As make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, hits all of his apexes and exits. I'm sure he'll have Jim from Crow Chief nagging in his ear about those currently, and looking to really put together some strong laps. So when he comes to take his pit stop, he was running around a couple of seconds behind Hitchin and Norman, so he'll be hopefully much closer to those two, and hopefully extend the gap.
We've got a car off there. Looks like he's managed to get round
one of the Ferraris.
He's gone into the pits.
He's in.
He's taken the pit stop now, so a bit of traffic there.
Rob Armstrong in, and so's Murray Luca behind them as well. As we've got David Norman here in his Ferrari, currently tucked up behind Colin Wynn. There's only 4 tenths of a second between these two as they just come into the penultimate corner. This fast left-hander as they now head around the last corner and on to the start-finish straight.
Very light on the brakes there. Yeah, they want to get...
Where's Josh Wilson? Josh Wilson's heading out the pits. Can he close this gap up to these guys? He was running in 3rd place before the round of pit stop. No, he's done it. He's up into 2nd place. There he is. That's Josh Wilson ahead of Colin Wynn there. He's done it. He's put together a brilliant in lap, and he's now got himself into 2nd place. Great performance there by Josh
Fantastic
Wilson.
work there. Yeah, it looks like he's got quite a good gap there as well. Is that
Yeah.
just at the screen there? 2 seconds of
Yeah,
gap. That's
but in
incredible.
the background, we've got
I
winner
think
Norman
Dave
battling.
Norman.
Norman's gone to the inside, slightly off camera there. We haven't seen a move yet done there. He's done it. He's got it done into the best chicane. Brilliant move there by Dave Norman. Absolutely brilliant move.
Fantastic work though by Norman. That was a real dive by the look of it. If we can get an onboard of that, that'd be fantastic. It looked like it was really tight as they came into the chicane there now, but it looks like Wynn's still going to be giving him a good fight here. He's not going to give up that place for nothing. So Dave Norman going to have to defend pretty hard. Wynn was pushing pretty hard out of the pits there just after obviously Wilson had just managed to get the jump on him, and Colin Wynn hoping to try and keep that position. Here we go now, we're on board with Dave Norman on the inside here on the right. Now he's just, he's been brave, and then he's really planted his flag there and put a name on it, hasn't he? That's well and truly, this is my land and I'm staying here. Get back, Wynn, stay out of my way. That's exactly what that was. And then Wynn did manage to stay behind him nice and close by the looks of it. So yeah, fantastic work there from Norman. Really great racing to watch.
About as precise as a brain surgeon's scalpel there, Nick. Nice steady hand, brilliant tight lined. As we resume back to the Luca battle, currently behind David Lawson. So he has dropped off the back of Armstrong. Lawson's in between after the round of pit stops. He's managed to get himself in amongst these two, but Lucas looking, no, not quite there. Not quite, but Lawson's gone wider there, and this is going to get Luca his chance now. Tucked up through the S's. Are we going to see another move done into the bus stop chicane? He's taken a lot of curb there. Can he get it done? What do you think, Nick?
I'm hoping so. It's looking really close. I think it's going to be a bit too brave, to be honest. Oh, he's going to pull out and have a look. But
no, he's hit the wall. Lucas hit the wall. Allows us to take us to the grass to take evasive action. But Lucas has managed to, unlike the incident we had earlier with, I'm trying to think who it was, completely escapes me. But yeah, he's managed to spin the right way around there. But Murray Luca just getting a bit too brave and a bit, as we see the replay here from track turning way too early.
He's just tried to cut it and then hit that barrier. Luckily he hasn't taken Lawson out in the process as well. Lawson really lucky to get away with that one. I think I'm sure we'll get another look at some point. It looks like a little bit of damage on that car now, but we're going to go back to David Norman picking up that fight that he's still having with Colin Wynn.
Colin Wynn's not letting him go. He's got the place back off him. So he's got Norman took the place off him, but Colin Wynn's right on the gearbox of Norman, trying to fight for that last spot on the podium to get that back from him. This is currently one of the closest battles that we've got on circuit at the moment. These guys equally matched in Ferrari, so it's not going to be too much of a performance advantage over one part of the circuit to the other. This comes down to, Nick, who's the better driver? Who's going to be the more consistent, hit all their apexes and exits, get the great lines, carry the most speed and momentum through the corners? Well,
based on what I've just seen in turn one there, it looks like Norman, it looks like Wynn dropped back to a little bit, went a little bit wider than perhaps he wanted to go, and then Norman had a chance to kind of sprint out of turn one and get a good run up the S's, where, of course, we know that these guys are flat all the way through as they get onto the straight, and then we're going to see Norman now just coming into that chicane, nice and tidy from Norman at the minute, just keeping Wynn behind him. Wynn's still thinking that he's got a chance here, and only 7/10 separate these guys, so I'm sure that we're probably going to see Wynn start to creep in as the gap does start to fluctuate a little bit. Now we're going to go over to Sean Joe, I believe. Oh no, Davies.
Clive Davies, he's right behind Sean Joe, so you weren't wrong there, Nick. He's around at half a second behind Sean Joe. Again, Ferrari on Ferrari. What was it? Obviously, with over 50% of the field making up Ferraris, we will be seeing this quite a bit. So Gary Truby behind them, who's not exactly any slouch and was lapping round about 2.5 seconds quicker than the battle of Joe and Davis that's currently happening. So it'd be interesting to see.
Truby, one of our AM drivers, and these guys in front of him are both rookies, which might explain that time difference. So I don't know if he's further back down the pack. Oh, what's that there? He's gone wide.
Yeah, he's gone wide, and that's now released Clive Davis He's got a nice bit of fresh air now, and he's pulled out quite a bit of a gap. It's around about 7/10. There's Barry Baldwin here. He's run wide into the last one, and he's in one of the he's let one of the AMs past him, which is Stonehouse.
Yes. Yeah, he's just let Stonehouse pass. Carrick Stonehouse, one of the faster guys that we've been watching throughout this race. Now, Stonehouse is going to be coming up to Ken Bracey next by the looks of it. It looks like, is that Lawson possibly in the
That's just
pit
in the pit.
again? And so Lawson, I wonder if this is his planned pit stop. We'd seen Lawson go in early because Lawson had damage earlier on in the race. So this possibly being Lawerson's actual planned stop where he's had to take the fuel. So his strategy been knocked off by the accident as we see Luca just go round Tom Carroll there into turn 1. And then Lawson just come out there behind Tom Carroll.
Yeah, and he's also come out behind Luca, who he was battling with earlier. And Lucas picked up a couple of places. They've got 3 drivers. Obviously, Tom Carroll dropped out earlier on, where he ran slightly wide into Chute Corner just as you come on to the boot section of the track. So they wrestle it over the curbs on the entrance to the bus stop to Kane, and now head around the... It feels like it goes on forever, this corner, Nick. Chute.
Lawson, the quicker of these 2 drivers at the moment. We've actually got one in the pits at the minute. I've just missed who that was.
That's Gary Truby in the pits at the moment.
Gary Truby. Now, Gary Truby was chopping through the field. He was chopping through rookie drivers that were ahead of him. So I wonder again if this is his planned
That's
stop.
his second pit. Yeah, it's his second pit stop, Nick. And I think he took one earlier for a bit of damage. So hence why he was making up a lot of time. And now he's had to make his second pit stop just for a bit of a splash and stash to get him through the last 8 minutes of the race. So we go back to the Wynn and Norman battle over 3rd place. This is it says 3rd place overall, and it's 3rd place in class as well.
So Colin Wynn still putting the pressure on. Half a second separates these guys at the minute. It's pretty much where it's been for the last few laps. We've seen a lot of back and forth. Now there's Colin Wynn is on about a similar sort of lap time at the minute to Norman. So we're going to keep following these guys just for a minute because they're staying close, Tim. This is the closest that we're going to see, I think, in the field. The guys ahead between Hitchin and Wilson, they don't appear to be giving each other much grief at the minute. So 3rd and 4th.
Nick, the gap when Wilson came out of the pits to Hitchin in 1st place was around about 8 seconds. That gap has fallen quite a bit. So Wilson's managed to pick a couple of seconds out of them. So it's only about 6 seconds. I don't think it's going to be... I don't think he's going to be able to close up the gap. However, David Norman is currently the fastest man on the track. Him and Wynn are really dragging each other along here, Nick. They've closed up, to close up the gap. They obviously the battle behind them that's Armstrong and Lee Green, that's long gone now. They're well clear of them. So there's only 3 attempts between these 2 as they now push each other along. There's got Bennington here in the Ferrari going up the inside of Barry Baldwin in the BMW. Flatters him to let him in there. And let him pass.
Yeah. We're going to go back to David Norman here. The battle is still looking really spicy. We've got only 4 tenths now. So David Norman, incredibly wide there. I mean, again, you can get away with that. It's technically not an off track unless you actually cross that little grass section as the concrete kind of rejoins the tarmac. So Dave Norman a 1:47.8 in the last lap, and Colin Wynn a 1:47.9. So these guys still incredibly racy, still keeping each other in check. Now, more Ferraris behind. That's going to be Rob Armstrong. We can see behind there as well, actually in the Merc. So there's a little battle going on further down the field, Tim, that I think we perhaps need to have a little look at, and that is Steve Olden here coming up to the back of Clive Davies.
Another one I'd like to see as well, Nick, is with Ken Bracey's had a crash somewhere off camera. We can see what happened to Ken. He's lost a place to Carrick Stonehouse in the process. So we can see what happened there. As we look at Steve Olden. Here we go. Here's Ken Bracey. Nobody near him. Is he just going to get a bit too excitable and run wide?
Yeah,
There we go.
he's kind of just gotten out of shape there, hasn't he? Probably shifted down the gears a bit too quick, and then the back end's gotten too
Oh,
lively. Oh, there was someone really close behind him, though.
that was the pink Lamborghini Carrick Stonehouse who I don't think it's marked up that he's collided with him, so he's managed to take evasive action. They've managed to dodge each other as the battle rages on while we were talking between Wynn and Norman. He can hardly separate these two, but they have closed the gap to Josh Wilson ahead of them by around about half a second. So
Yeah,
it's not going to be far off now.
Wilson also gaining ahead by the looks of it. So there's a car in between them
Back
at the moment.
marker.
Yeah,
Not
so that
trying to just. That's Ash Wheeler, I think. There we've got Nick. He's in between them. So I'm sure he'll get out of the way at the most convenient space.
well, here is the
These guys-
convenient space. It's
It
the long
is.
straight. Get out the way now, Ash. Let's see these guys get in and get some racing done. We've got 4 minutes to go, and we want to see some overtakes now. The guys at the front, the gap coming down a little bit. So I don't know if there's some fuel saving going on.
Well, we've got Chris Hitchin, who's we've hardly featured him. He's a nice, quick, clean, quiet race in his BMW. Not really had too much going on, and he's currently 4 seconds ahead of Josh Wilson in second place. And then, of course, the battle that we featured quite heavily of Norman and Wynn, who ran about 5 seconds up the road from Chris Hitchin.
There's Chris Hitchin right there. We're just watching him on the cameras there in the BMW. So, yeah, looking quite comfortable at the minute. But yeah, as we say, that gap has come down a little bit. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more of the action behind over the next few laps. So these cars looking a bit closer. There's a few damaged cars on the track. Looks like there's a few people that have been in the wars throughout this as we watch Norman and Wynn still fighting away. This will be the one that everyone talks about at the end of this. Now, oh, that looks incredibly close, Tim. It looks like actually Wynn probably had the better exit there. Now as they go through here now into this boot section. Very close.
Nick.
Last corner.
It's tight. We've probably got about 2 more laps to go. There's well, probably maybe 3. Actually, no, I lied. There's going to be a bit more than that. It's just under 2-minute lap, so we've got probably about 2 or 3 laps to go here. And I think the pressure's going to be mounting on Dave Norman, and Wynn is all over the back of them. They're hardly separate them time-wise. There's only last time around there was only 500ths of a second between them. And I think it's going to take a very bold move from Colin Wynn or a mistake from Dave Norman to separate these two or get one ahead of the other.
No, I do need to give a shout out to a couple of people who are up the field a little bit at the minute. Now I can see a couple of guys who are looking really strong. That you know, we've got Rob Rawlins and Trevor Davis, you know, who have gained quite a few places at the field. Dave Lowison, unfortunately, looks like he's I believe Dave has lost a few places in this. And then Tom Carroll is Tom Carroll's in the pits at the minute by the looks of it. We had Tom Carroll coming off track. Oh, we're just going to ride on board with Anthony Franklin here because it looks like Anthony and Murray are having a fight. Now, Murray has obviously had a few incidents in the last few laps, and then he's going to be let past here by the looks of it. Yeah, no fight to be had there. Murray on an absolute charge. As we watch Dave Norman here getting past.
He's been past, Nick. Colin Wynn's managed to get by him there somewhere slightly off camera while we're looking at the Luca part. And yeah, I think that's pretty much secured now for Colin Wynn. So I think they're going to come onto the white flag now this time around. So I think now this is time to throw the kitchen sink out. Just absolutely give it everything you've got, Dave Norman. If you want to get this place back from Colin Wynn, I think it's going to take a big ballsy move somewhere.
Yeah, there's not much time left now, like only 59 seconds. Well, yeah, just under a minute now on the clock. So Dave's going to have to be really brave to get around here. Oh, he's got incredibly wide there. That's going to cost him a lot of time, and it looks like, yeah, he's going to be dropping back there a little bit. So unfortunate for Dave Norman as he stays fully flat around here, taking a lot of curve on the left-hand side there, Tim, as he's going to hopefully try and close that gap up. Don't think he's going to have enough to do a maneuver, try and move into the inner loop chicane though before they reach out a loop.
Yes, let's see if they can make it safely through bus stop. No mistakes from either of them. These two have been trading lap times the whole way round. Literally hundredths of a second separating them each lap, not giving each other an inch. And now it all comes down to this last lap. And David Norman, the man with all the work to do, Colin Wynn sitting a lot more comfortably. He's currently 7 tenths up the road, and there's around about half a lap to go now. Not a lot of overtaking opportunities either. So I think it's going to take a mistake from Colin Wynn to knock him off that 3rd place on the podium.
And there's not many corners for that mistake to come now, really, is there? Let's be honest. So as we go to watch them here into a lot of traffic there they've got ahead of them, that's going to possibly cause a bit of trouble here for Wynn if it doesn't get out of the way in the next.
Is that Stephen Olden ahead of him in the Mercedes? I think it is. But I think they're coming into the penultimate corner now, so I don't think it's going to take a lot, or it's going to take something dramatic. As we come watch on the start line, here comes Chris Hitchin. Hitchin, race winner of round 1 of the UK iRacing GT3 League. Josh Wilson picks up 2nd place. Colin Wynn secures that 3rd and final place on the podium. Dave Norman, he'll be bitterly disappointed with 4th place. Rob Armstrong bringing home the 1st Mercedes in 5th place. A strong result from him. Lee Green in the 4th place Ferrari and 6th overall. Tony Balkinsop comes across in 7th. So just wait now. Here comes Stonehouse in his Lamborghini. The first of 3 Lamborghini runners. Sorry, the second of 3 because Blenkinsop is. Bracey. Baldwin has won the rookie contest as well. Great result for him overall as well there, Nick. Finishing high up the field and while mixing it up with the AM drivers as well. So Barry Baldwin, hats off to you, sir.
Barry Baldwin, yeah, looking fantastic there in the rookie category, taking that 1st place. Now, looks like we then got Rob Sandford, possibly I think behind him, and then Anthony.
No, it's Smith who is 2nd.
Is it
in the rookies, and then Sandford in.
Third place.
Sorry.
Yes, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong set of times at the minute. So fantastic work there from these guys. This has been a great race to watch. Now we've seen that battle from Wynn and Norman, one of the highlights that we would have seen tonight. Absolutely gentleman racing throughout, and it looked like at the end of it, it just ran down to who could hold on for the longest in that fight, Tim. These guys really pushing each other all to the limit, and as we see Trev Davis just going over the line. Trev Davis, again, we've seen a bit of Trev today. Trev been in a couple of fights, looking pretty racy as well in some of the battles that we've seen him in. So yeah, fantastic work. And then unfortunate to see Dave Lowerson down there, having dropped down the timings a little bit. Dave having had to make multiple stops today, unfortunately, in this race. So yeah, real shame as we see. I don't know if you were just watching the same camera as me as that Steve Olden Mercedes hitting the pit wall, but not quite, not a glamorous end, but never mind. So wow, fantastic work there with all the drivers involved. That's been a great bit of racing, and hopefully we'll see something very, very similar in the next round, Tim.
Yeah, so we've got the Pro and the Pro-Am drivers. That's next week live on the iRacing UK Twitch channel. That'll be absolutely brilliant race. We're going to try and get hold of the winners as well for a little interview with them. As we just watched the last few guys coming in. So to show you the race results and effectively the standings within the championship. Chris Hitchin, round 1 race winner in the BMW M4 GT3. Josh Wilson, the first of the Ferrari drivers, picks up 2nd place. A brilliant result from him, and I'm sure he'll be really happy with that one. Colin Wynn just pipping Dave Norman in the end to 3rd place and that last place on the podium. Dave Norman 4th. Armstrong picks up 5th. Lee Green 6th. I think after his outing during the prologue event, Nick, I think he'd be disappointed with that. Blenkinsop, Stonehouse and Bracey, all Lamborghini runners in 7th, 8th and 9th respectively. Bennington, who hit the wall earlier, a bit disappointed with that one. Murray Luca as well, picking up an instant and dropping them down the championship there. So they'll be looking for a bit of redemption in round 2. We've got Lowerson, Carroll, Olden, Cy Anthony and Gary Truby in 16th to round out the AM category.
So, Tim, we've actually got Chris Hitchin now in the commentary box with us. So we'd like to say welcome, Chris, and also congratulations on the win this evening. So how did that feel for you? Was that a particularly stressful race for you, Chris, or did you feel like you were relatively in control of that one?
It was all right, to be honest. But I just want to say unlucky about the grid because I'm pretty sure Wilson would have had it if it wasn't for that.
In what respect?
I think that the grid got mixed up in there and by a mistake there. So that's unfortunate for Josh, but he had a good recovery drive, Chris. He picked up second place in the end. But yeah, you seem to have quite a quiet race really out in front. Did it feel like that while you were in the car?
Well, the plan was to catch up to the back markers and pit, so it went quite well. Although a couple laps before pit stop, I ran a bit wide at second to last turn. So yeah, that scared the life out of me because I have a pretty good reputation for binning it when the going gets tough.
It looked like the gap was coming down as the kind of the closing stages of the race were coming in. The guys behind were battling quite hard, and we were kind of watching the times. Was there any element of fuel saving in there at all, or was it just a case of get rounded and survive the remainder?
Traction control 10 is all I can say.
Oh,
Whacked up to 10. Hope for the best.
Okay, so playing it safe and open for the best. Well, it's got you there at the end of the day. It's got you to the top of the table, so that's what we like to see.
Chris, do you think you can carry this momentum forward throughout the rest of the championship? What are your hopes and aspiration going forward for the rest of the league?
Well, obviously Johnny won last season, so I don't want to be known as the worst Hitchin brother. That was my first official race in a BMW as well, so got to say it fits what I want to do in the race.
So you hope you can
not crash.
Follow in the family footsteps, as it were, and pick up another league victory for the family.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm jealous of the trophy.
Okay.
All the more reason for you to battle hard and make sure you get one of your own to stick on the family mantelpiece.
Okay, we're gonna go over to the rookie results. Thanks very much for joining us, Chris. That was it was great to speak to you, and we look forward to seeing you in the next round.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Chris.
So, Tim, do you want to run us through the rookie results?
Yeah, definitely. So, Barry Baldwin, great result overall as well. He came in around about 11th overall, so absolutely brilliant race from him. Dan Smith came in second in the other BMW. We've got Rob Sanford in the Audi R8. Anthony Franklin in the only McLaren across the whole grid. We've then got Protti, Rawland in two Ferraris. Trevor Davis, great race from him in 7th place in the BMW. Then Clive Davis, Sean Joe, Ash Wheeler, Stephen Hughes, Mark Cadmore, all Ferrari drivers in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th respectively. Neil Smith in 13th and Ben Brody, who didn't make the grid, unfortunately. I know he was trying to get across to the league race as quick as possible. He was tied up in an endurance race, which literally finished minutes before the league race started. So he'd be gutted he didn't quite manage to get it across in time, unfortunately.
Well,
but commiserates to him, and hopefully we'll see him out next time with a strong result.
Well, hopefully the enduro went well in the end. So shame not to see Brody here tonight. We're now going to go to speak to Barry Baldwin. So Barry Baldwin, the winner of our rookie category, here to speak to us. So Barry, congratulations. How was that race for you?
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, it's really good. I'd say Dan Smith behind. He definitely gave me a push along. I always had one eye on him, but yeah, I'm happy that I managed to hold on to the end.
We were watching a portion of that towards the end of the stream. We were really kind of following that race quite hard. That was one of the closest battles that we had, alongside third and fourth between Norman and Wynn. So you were definitely in the spotlight for a period of that. Now, what did you have to do to make it work? How what was the strategy that you went in with tonight?
To be honest, I knew I was always quite good coming out of turn one, which is the main overtaking place. So I kind of used that a lot in the race. To be honest, if anyone was close to me, they just couldn't get up to the bus stop chicane. So I had quite an easy time defending from some people actually, and it was I made a few moves there myself.
it was a great result for you over in the overall standings as well, Barry. Were you expected to finish as high up the field overall as what you did?
No, not really. I would have been really happy with the top 5 here. This is my first season in, obviously. I wasn't too sure what to expect, to be honest. There's a very fast guys around, and just happy I managed to sort of put a good showing in.
But you managed to secure 11th place overall, so you've definitely got to be happy with that one. Do you think it's going to be battles between yourself and Smith all season long?
I'm sure of it. Yeah, that guy's got some pace.
Brilliant.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much for joining us, Barry. Now,
Thanks very much, Barry.
Barry's left us now, so I guess all that really leaves us to do, Tim, is wrap up and say thank you to a few people, really.
Definitely, Nick, definitely. And what an absolutely cracking race that was to kick off the season. As mentioned, obviously we've got the Pro and Prams next Sunday, and yeah, we just I'd like to say a special thank you to all the viewers at home, the new people who've subscribed to the channel. Big thank you to yourselves. It means a lot to the channel and the community. You've obviously come along, everyone who's come along to watch this evening, and a very big thank you to the competitors who've made all this action possible and given us a great opportunity to commentate on it. Now, don't forget, we've got some fantastic upcoming streams as well from our other leagues. We're currently running, and those include the second round of F3 League, which I think you're commentating in, Nick, aren't you?
Yep. So that's going to be at Donington on March the 11th. That's this Thursday, I believe, at the 11th. So yeah, we'll be live from Donington Circuit for the F3. The first round at Montreal saw a lot of thrills and spills, some great overtakes, some close racing, and a few accidents as well. So we're looking forward to getting the cars back on track for me and Carl Cranswick to cover that one for you on Thursday. The other thing to bear in mind, the thing that you did mention was that we've got the Pro and the Pro-Am series of the GT3 Season 2, same time next Sunday at 9 o'clock. And then looking a little bit further ahead in the future, there will be another Skippy race later on in March. So I guess one more final thank you from Tim and I, and another thank you to Sean Cranley Swash, our producer and cameraman behind the scenes. This has been the iRacing UK Discord community live stream of the GT3 Season 2 Round 1 Rookie and Am category. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good night.